Hi, this is Tim at the bakery. The cookies that you ordered should be delivered by now. The list of ingredients are included.
Looks like you missed your delivery last night. Please drop it off at Southwest 107th Place. Our clients will not tolerate further delays.
This is Thomas from the Methadone Clinic. We've scheduled a short meeting for you tonight. We're at Northwest 184th Street, Apartment 105. And, don't worry. Your discretion is of importance to our clients.
Good evening. A while ago, but it seems he didn't do a very good job. Head over there right away. They're expecting him. Keep it quick and clean.
Hi, it's Ben from Miami Funeral Parlor. I'm just calling to tell you we have the tombstone order done and ready to be delivered. With a little luck, you should be getting it before the weekend.
Hi everybody. It's that time again today, so let's get started. If everybody's having a good day so far. Mine's been pretty good, but once again it's much too hot here. Feels like it should be June, not February. So today our goal is to add the second player, and that will come in two main phases. One is just having the second player, like actual control for the second player, and then the second phase will be adding support for the second player over the network. So we already have a little bit of logic here for what happens when the turn ends in the turn manager. You can see here that this is called when the turn chooser has given the player's input to the game. First, it calls this move command, which causes the piece mover to activate and do its job. And then below that, we figure if this piece is a multi, or if this move is a multi-move turn. In that case, we start another sub-turn with the turn chooser. So really all we need to do here is if the piece is not a multi-turn, then we know that this player's turn is over. So we can start the next turn command. I think that might actually be all we need to do, because internally we're saying that each player's move is one turn, so the odd turns are always player 1 and the even turns are always player 2. So that might be all we need to do, so let's check and see. Oh, but of course right now everything is a multi-turn, so we need to edit that real quick. So we'll just change this allow multi-turn to false. Yeah, and it did work, and now it lets us select this. Well, there we go. Now we can sort of move these pieces around. How about for clarity on the model, the piece models, we actually changed the player 2 to black. Let's see. Let's see, if piece owner player is 1, which is the second player, then we need the renderer. So we get that from the model, and it actually is probably in the child and not the actual piece model object, so we need to get component in children. And then we just say renderer material color equals color black. Now this is not very efficient because when you assign something to the rendered material directly like this, it makes a copy of the material every time. But it's fine for now, because we won't use this in the future. See, there we go, now it's black. Looks good. Now, do we want to try and get in? I guess we should already start with the networking. I'm a little surprised we got there so quickly. So first off, we need to make this turn chooser only. Well, I was going to say we need to make the turn chooser only let the player select commands when it's their turn. But of course, it needs to know like which player is the local player. So, and to do that, we do need to set up pretty much all the networking. So let's get started with that. So this is a network manager object. It has a lot of attributes we can set, but really you don't need to do much for now. Now it does need one object. And it will spawn these as players connect and disconnect. And instead of just this being a child of the mono behavior, you also need to actually need to make it a child of a network behavior in order for this to work. And then we need to make a prefab. Oh. Okay. I'm not sure what that was about, but first we need to make a prefab for the player. And then we give the network manager the player prefab. Oh, of course. First you have to add network identity, and then you can add your custom script. Now, nothing actually happens because there's no connection, so no network players are spawned. We should also actually add this network. There's a network manager HUD, which is just creates this nice little interface up here. So if we said that we were a host, you can still see that nothing happens. Like we should see our network players over here. In fact, let's rename this something better. Soup. Yeah, that's better. course, we also need to add the namespace. Okay, so is it happy with everything now? I think so. But in order for us to actually test the connection, we need to build the project. Let's set this up. Just setting some defaults here. That looks all good. So now we're basically just building the game so that we can run two instances, one in the editor and one outside. Okay, so now when I play with the editor, let's close this, and I'll start this as the host. And I start this as the client, and we'll see that there's two objects of the player network object. And down here, it gives some useful information. So this object is the local player. Well, this object is not the local player, so this is the one that corresponds to this outside game. Of course, right now the games don't synchronize at all. As you can see, these pieces don't move. So now we need to add some more logic to it. First off, we have to assign a player index to each of the connected players. But I think the first thing we have to do is make sure that there actually are two players. So I think that should be part of the match manager. Okay, so first of all, we need some event that fires when we have a connection with another player. And Unity actually has a bunch of events here that we can get on this network player interface. Let's go ahead and do a debug. And there's many useful values that we can get here. Now Unity uses these terms, the client, the server, and the host, and basically the client and server are what you would expect, but the host is for games that don't have a dedicated server, and so the host acts as both the client and a server. We'll be able to say is local player. And for the most part, yeah, the reason that they don't even have an is host option is because for the most part it doesn't make any difference. Oh. Okay, so here we see the client and server started. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so let's say this is the host. And here we get the client true, server true, local false. That is strange. Shouldn't the local be true? Let's see what happens. Yeah, and then when it adds another one, it gives the same. I'm not sure why that is. Well, always one way to find out. Okay, this is not, I don't think that's what we want. You know what, it could be because yeah, maybe it doesn't know if it's a local player or not at that point. Let's try this here. Okay, yeah, that must be it. So the game doesn't know if it's a local player right away. And then we also know that the local player callback is called after. Let's run its build again so we can get a little more debugging. Okay, and here we see that when this game connected, that we get another player started, but local is false. Now it is a little strange that the server is always return true, but I'm not sure if we'll really need that information. So, how will we we need to know which player is the host, and it needs to send out basically decide who's white and who is black. Let's see how to do that. Well, this is kind of nice, but that's not exactly what we need. Okay. Now I tried this, but in our game, its server is always true, so... okay. I wonder if we can write logs to this development console. That would make things pretty easy. Well, I was hoping that we could somehow easily write here, but I'm not sure if that's possible. I don't know what that is. Okay, well, I guess we'll just need to do our own. Because mostly what I want to know what I'm suspecting our problem is that this is server is always true in the editor, but it's probably always false in here. So one way we could see if that's the case rather easily. Okay, let's go back into here. I'm just gonna have the cubes turn red. How come this is not working? Oh, it's find object of type. So if it's the server, it'll color black, otherwise we'll color them red. Okay, and that does not work, of course, because the network is not initialized at this point. So, okay, well I've written an on-screen log before, but the problem is we just don't have the like fonts and everything set up yet. So maybe I'll do that after the stream is over. Set that all that up because it's not very exciting. So for now, let's just continue on. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. That's not very. Return true if running as a server, which spawned the object. This doesn't make it. Doesn't really answer our question. But okay, so since this is a server, that means that our match manager gets to decide who goes first. Let's go ahead and make some kind of interface for the match manager to get that information from Unity. Call it my network state. And for now, we'll just have it. What should we call it? Is, I guess we could just say is host player. And then we should have this has connection. So then okay. So now we also want a messenger, which will basically fire an event whenever this has connection value changes. Oh, this is a constructor. Okay, so now this will be nice subscribable. And we'll just go ahead. We'll just use our connection change messenger, just like we did on the player selection event. That's why I keep looking back over there. So that's one way to see, but now we also need the way for Unity to set this data. I keep saying bool, it needs to be void. Oh, yes. And then for both of these, they'll call the connection change messenger. So now let's go back to Unity. Now here we should have some kind of class which will keep track of the player objects. Let's call it network tracker. And basically this will have the player network interface of the host and then the client. Okay. Now, as we saw before, on the network player interface, this onStart client is called first, but we don't know if it's a local player or not until this onLocal player is called sometime afterwards. So we need to actually wait until probably need to wait a frame to be able to tell which player is actually the local player. Let's see, there might be a better way to do this. There's a whole lot of Unity events, as you can see. Okay, on start is... Oh, that's strange, it doesn't show up here. Okay, well, let's see. I want to get the documentation for that. Oh, it's in network behavior. This might be useful actually. This is a unique ID for each connection. Okay, well, here's what we were looking for on start client. Okay, I think that we're doing this the right way. It's just not the most obvious. So we'll keep a list. Of connected players. And then the next update, we'll set a flag to check host, or actually check local status. So if okay, so now let's go ahead and add a connection in just to be ready for it. And then we need to cycle through. Well, first we should make sure that there's only 2 connected players. So if the first one is local player, then we know it's the host. And the client must be the second. Wait, this actually, no, I'm getting the logic wrong. It's not. Because, see, we want to identify one player that's the same on the client and the host that will decide the turn order, but we can't use is local player because that is obviously just the local player. I was getting confused there. And the local player being the player associated with the game that's running that instance, which is obviously different on the host and the client, because in the host the local player is actually the host object, but in the client the local player is the client object. We'll just go ahead and finish this thought, because we will need this logic, but we just need to find the right way to check. Let's see. Thank you for bearing with me here. I'm a little bit new to Unity's networking systems. Let's see, state. Okay, this is not what we want. Okay, maybe we are going about this the wrong way. Let's see. Okay, let's try this. And see exactly what callbacks we get. Oh yes, I spell out the U. Let's see what the first one they say is on start host. Okay, so I'll bring this down. Network tracker. Okay, so maybe I don't need to make this a network behavior. There we go. Okay, it actually didn't do anything. Oh, I see. So we need to make a derivation of the network manager. Okay. So let's just comment this out. Oh, just override. Okay, so now I think we need to remove this. Okay, and then we get the start host. Start host callback. That's nice. Okay, this might be exactly what we need, so let's see. We should probably be calling on start host of the base. So what does this server connection have? Let's go ahead and debug log this. Okay. And if we start the host, okay, it does have send us a connection. Good. Okay, so these functions are only invoked on the host. That's good to know. Okay, so this hopefully will not give us hopefully this will not run on the server when we start as a host. It does though. Oh, because the host is both. Okay, so one thing we can actually do, and I'm surprised I didn't think of this before, is we go ahead and build it, and then we have the external game run as the host. And then the editor will run as the client, and then we'll see what debugs we get. Aha, and see there, here we only get the client connected, so that's what we wanted. So now we know that the player who gets this host callback is the host, and so it can go ahead and decide the turn order. Let's see. It's a shame there's no... I was hoping that there was an easy way to get this player object that was instantiated, but it doesn't look like it. Maybe this network server. Maybe there's something like get player for connection. We'll check. Let's see. So we want to get the network, what do they call it, behavior for a player ID. This isn't what we want. Also want that way we know which, like, if we can control certain, whatever pieces we're assigned. go ahead and fill in what we can. So many typos. Okay, so now, and I'm just not going to handle disconnections right now. We'll do that in the future. And then once the connected players, once we have 2 players connected, we know we need to send something to the game. I wonder if these player IDs, they're probably not unique across the network, I wonder. Okay, so that's nice to know that the player ID is unique. So basically, let's see here. I think we'll need to change how this works a little bit. Well, the connected players, the local player, and then the host player. Actually, I just remembered. I think that the way Unity lets you, they try to make you not need to know. If you're the or who is actually the host in the server, because they have these things called an RPC call. Yeah, so the commands are sent from the player objects to the client, on the client, always to the server. And then vice versa, these client RPC calls are run from the server and distributed to all clients. So really, what we need to be doing, instead of trying to keep track of all this ourselves, is we should probably just set up a bunch of messages, and then for instance, we'll have this here, So yeah, we'll call this assign host player. And it'll just do of course. Unity has a really nice random library that I'll be using instead of the built-in one in C#. Oh, Mulder, you're also dealing with trying to networking in Unity? Yeah, it's pretty new to me. Okay, so assign the host player. Start function, like a coroutine, you mean in this start function?
If you were to record for a sufficiently long period of time, you could in fact learn something about the
Yeah, I do know about coroutines. But so here, what should we call this? Ask for player number. I think they always have to end in command. Oh. Inside wait for next frame. Oh, that's true. Yeah, we'll have to do that when we get to that part. But I'm not sure if we're going to even use that logic anymore. So let's see. So the command, so you call this command and then it's run on the server. So this, let's see. Actually, let's use the remote function. Oh no, let's do this for simplicity. So let's call this calculate player number. Okay, and the nice thing again is that it's a little confusing, and I think that's why I've been having trouble with it. That whenever you call this function, it's not run like a normal function. It's actually sent to the server and then run on the server, so okay, but we need to set up a little flow here. For instance, we don't want to assign the right away, because then we need to wait until there's two players connected. Let's see. Let's listener. Yeah, and then we can finally get rid of this logic because the board will be created once we have a connection. See it. We'll just do another listener. What should we call it? Okay. Then we'll just move these here. Now we don't need to have this update. I guess let's test this first. Oh, but of course we don't. Where should we add this? This event hasn't been instantiated yet, so components, and then the key is just the connection established. And then this will be called from the network tracker. Oh, where did I put that? There we go. Fingers are so bad today. 1,000 typos. There we go. And then we just send, because now we have 2 players. And when this happens... Okay. What's the problem? Oh, okay, I spelled it wrong. Here, it's supposed to be lowercase m and d. Yeah, see, it's very... I knew I was very specific about that. Is it still not happy? Oh, it's a prefix. Okay. So now, obviously, the board's not there yet. Oh. the stop. Okay. Oh, you know what? Oh, we did add it. What's the problem then? Oh, okay, actually, of course, this is only run on the server. I keep forgetting. So we'll have the editor be the server this time. There we go. So now that works. So now what is the next step we need to take? Okay, so really we actually need to, but we can't build the board yet until we know which player is white and black, so we need to add another messenger. Let's see, request their color. Add another component here. Let's call it the same thing. Generate an enumeration member. Alright, so here I'll comment this out for now. And really, when the connection is established, we need to request the player color. And what this needs to do is it needs to call this function. But remember, it's not called right away, it's called on the server. But regardless, we need to have some kind of callback. Actually, I made a helper class for this. Yeah. And then on disable. That just lets us clean up everything. this will be iListener, and then the subscribable is that request player color. And then make a new simple listener, which we'll call the command ask for player number. What does it not like? Oh. But simple listener is an iListener. Oh, I have too many parentheses. There we go. Oh, well, that was actually right. Actually, I wonder, I'm not sure exactly, because like I said, these functions are strange, so I'm not sure if you can just do this. I don't know, I feel safer going like this. I guess to use the same terminology, I'll say calculate player color here. Thought I clicked rename. But I can't see how. Not sure why it highlight like that. There we go. And then I'll change this to ask for player color. So now we should be ready. Then the match manager. Just needs to listen for when that command is given. Well, to clean things up, we should probably just put that into a different object. Let's see. Let's call it. Because it doesn't really have anything to do with the match manager itself. We'll go ahead and have it create the event messenger, even though it's actually going to subscribe itself to it, which is a little strange. need us. Yeah, there we go. We'll need a reference to it out here. And the key is just the figure color command. And then right away we'll just add a listener to that. What is it? Simple listener. Calculate color. Okay, so this actually needs to assign colors to each player. So let's just get rid of all this stuff for now because we're not sure exactly what we'll need. Except that we need to know, we need to have a list of connected players. And only the server will have this information, so we can go ahead and change this to, yeah, something called the server information. And then we'll have, there we go. And then back in the, well, first we'll go ahead and add as a component. What do we call it? Server information. Now this will sit, or this will exist in both the server and the client game, but the client game, none of this information will be filled out for it, so it's fine. So basically, it needs to decide which player is white. this value always returns a random number between 0 and 5, or 0 and 1. So this is basically 50-50. So the white player, let's see. Basically the server information. Then now we know that this is always called when there's exactly 2 players, so this won't ever throw any errors. And then this is the opposite index. Okay, so now we have this information and we gotta send it back out. We can make another messenger. What we can actually use, yeah, instead of having a separate thing, we can just use a remote function. That's easier. So we'll need to make a new structure real quick. Let's say player color calculation results. Make it a struct. So now just doing a little restructuring here. And instead of this being a messenger, I'll actually make it this remote function. So now we need to go back here. This is actually, we'll actually just get the player color calculation here. don't think there's a way that you can just like only send, because one way you could do this is basically find the white player's player network interface object and just send it a message, except I don't think that's how it works in Unity. Instead, you need to use the RPC. What do they call it? Oh, client RPC. Which is another function sort of like this command. Let's see if it will actually just let us send the results like this. Oh, I just called it R here. Okay, so let's see if Unity throws any errors before we go any farther. Nope. Good. I'm still a little nervous though, so we'll go ahead and do a debug. I thought that we could get the ID right here. Oh yeah, net ID. But of course this won't run yet because we need to populate this list. Then okay, so right here yeah, so we don't need this separate list at all. Okay, so I think this should work. Let's see. Let's run as the host. So let's see, where did it get stuck? Okay. So I guess as far as this print, oh, okay, I think I know the problem. I forgot to activate that, so let's see. Okay, so there more things happened. Color command. Oh, okay, so we forgot to player color. Wait, that's not it. Yeah. One more time. Okay. That is not exactly what I expected. Because it says both white and black are 0. Oh yeah, because both these connecteds are 0. That does not make... So let's look up more information on this on server add player. Seems like the player controller ID shouldn't be 0 for both. So why is it? Okay. Okay, so it doesn't actually send this net ID, it sends the player controller ID, which is different. Okay. I think what we need to do is just override this method exactly, because we need to get what does it call itself right like that? Trying to find that default implementation. It says is this, but does it make any sense? Because we need to get it's kind of like what these people are doing. Guess I'll just do this. Of course I don't need this ship, but because we need to know this network object or network identity. Oh wait, no, we'll just leave this, but so the net ID is the player. Okay. Wait, what is this value? Network instance ID. Okay, so let's see what value we get for this. Because the network instance IDs. Okay, we get a 1. That's good. The network instance IDs are unique and persistent across the network. It uses unsigned int, so play ball. think that, yeah. Gotta make everything unsigned in. Okay, so now back to here. So here it just spawns that player object as we did before. And then we get the network identity. So now we have the unique network ID. So now let's see what happens. Okay, so we're in black this time. Let's run it again, just to see if we get a different value. Oh, don't want to do host. Okay, we'll go back again. 50-50 chance, so it's not that strange. Okay, this time we're white, so. Okay, so that's good, it's working now. Oh wow, time's really flown today. We have 10 more minutes. Let's see what else we can do. Okay, well, I guess the next thing is now that we have the players, we need to send it back into the system. Just trying to think about how to hold this data, the structure we'll use. And this will hold. So our player color. That might be all we need to set for now, really. And then back over here. results white player equals our net ID. Then why is it not like this? Oh, of course we have to say value. Okay. Now, of course, we have this other thing, which is if it somehow doesn't equal either, and that means that we had some kind of network error. But we won't worry about that for now. So now we need some another messenger. And we'll just add another event over here. What do we say? Yeah, so let's say colors. Decided message. Right away, we need to add a listener for it. And then here we'll copy and paste these old commented lines. And then to take this oh no, it doesn't need a listener, it needs to actually call it. So decided message, and then we just send it. Oh. Click component. So now, when we connect, it should go ahead and create the board and everything. Of course, they still don't update on the server, but okay. Well, good. Now we got. I want to thank everybody for sticking with me through this, because yeah, I'm pretty new to the networking in Unity, but it seems like we got most of the difficult things figured out. So any other logic we need to run only on the server, we just need to remember how to use this command and client RPC. It's really gonna litter the components with all kinds of messages, but I don't know if that could be helped, because basically this request player color and then color decided are kind of like a pair. So I wonder if there's some cleaner way that we could kind of combine them into one component. I'm not sure, but it's good to think about. But regardless, I want to thank everybody for watching. Next week, or not next week, tomorrow, we'll probably make it so you can actually play with the player on the other side, and so you can only move the pieces that are of your color. So that will be fun, and then we'll update positions over the network, of course. And then after that, we'll really just have, well, the modding system. We'll need to create everything for that, as well as some kind of the win condition, and then some kind of better interface to connect. Of course, I'm not worried about making this game super polished, because it's just, as I've said before, it's just a prototype, but it should at least look a little nice. But anyway, so I hope you all have a good rest of the evening or day, wherever you are, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Right, bye-bye.